Alrighty, people. We are back here, Tankers Fantasy Football. Gonna give you some sit starts, good matchup, bad matchup, maybe some dudes to avoid here. Just kind of a preview for week 2 action to come. So we're just gonna start it off with some dudes that we think are gonna bounce back here.
I know Alshon Jeffrey went out there and he let you down week 1. I know he did get that 2-point conversion. But like, if anything we can take from this game, Carson Wentz did look good. Alshon Jeffrey did have a couple chances to get it sexy out there with a big play. I think he can get it together this weekend against the Chiefs. Because I think that game is going to be a shootout because both offenses look primed in their week 1 matchups.
Another guy I think is just perfectly suited here. We're talking Doug Baldwin against the 49ers secondary. Doug Baldwin did basically nothing for you. Russell Wilson basically did nothing for you. And I fully expect Doug Baldwin to get it going here with a 20-plus point game this week against the 49ers.
Could very well get it sexy for you against those 49ers. Patriot players against the Saints. I think this is a great rebound week. They've had 10 days to mull over how bad they got their shit pushed in versus the Chiefs on Thursday. And I think it's just time.
If they're going to let Sam Bradford light him up, I don't think there's any reason that Tom Brady cannot get it going. I think Brandon Cooks can find his way. I feel like if you even got Amendola for some reason, if he's in the lineup, if he gets cleared and he's good to go.
I think Chris Hogan right now is a sit. I don't know. He just didn't. People are all excited him going into the season. I wasn't necessarily on that wagon. He did go out there and lay an egg for you in that week 1 matchup. I think Cooks, who did have a very serviceable game out there, but didn't really necessarily get it awesome for you. But I think he's looking to get it popping against his old team. I think Gronk's looking to get it sexy for you in this game. And I know Gillislee did get it sexy for you in that week 1 matchup, but I think Gillislee is a definite RB2 start in this matchup as well.
And one more guy I really think is going to bounce back nice here, Devontae Adams against this Atlanta secondary. Really, Cobb was the guy who was surprisingly getting most of the targets besides the head man and Jordy.
Yeah, the Seahawks are always kind of vulnerable against the slot guys, so they probably game plan that in and a little more Cobb heavy with the Seahawks being not necessarily good on the inside receivers. But I think Cobb kind of becomes more of a wide receiver 3 for the rest of the way. I think he will still get his looks, but I think Adams is going to be able to get it back together against the Falcons and looking, probably solid wide receiver 2 numbers moving forward.
I think so.
All right, these dudes let you down. We're going to get some dudes.
Some dudes that will continue to let you down.
Yeah, I'm saying if they let you down in week 1, you should probably move them from your starting lineup to that bench spot in week 2. We're going to lead it off with the Crow, who just looked terrible out there versus the Steelers, and he gets another tough as nails matchup this week versus the Ravens, who just shut out the Bengals in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I know this guy you're probably not going to sit, but if you're in a deeper league, maybe you drafted a dude like, I don't know, maybe even like Adam Thielen that I would start over him at this point.
Oh, you have to.
I mean, we're talking Dez Bryant here. I know you probably got him in mid to late second. Dez Bryant only converted on 2 of the targets.
2 of his 9 targets he was able to convert on.
Like we said, last year, Dak Prescott really does not love him whatsoever.
Yeah, he's getting another tough matchup. I know he just faced the Jackrabbit.
But now he's going against that Denver secondary, which we know through the air is about as tough as it gets.
I don't know. Rivers was able to dice him for a couple touchdowns late in that game, but I think that's kind of an outlier. I don't know. They're probably looking to put the clamps on a guy like Dez Bryant. If the defense like Denver is looking to put the clamps on you, I think you're getting the clamps.
All right, another guy. We're talking Fat Rob here. Did not look good whatsoever here.
You let me down, bud.
I feel like this whole Washington backfield is something to avoid. Maybe if you're talking really deep leagues, maybe Thompson and PPR only.
RB3 Thompson moving forward in PPR is probably your only look right now in the red.
But everything else, totally benchable. Don't even think about it.
Out there. No, Cincinnati running backs, the whole Bengals shitstorm kind of laid an egg for you.
Until something clears up, Joe Mixon, I feel like you have to put on your bench. I mean, even if you paid like a 4th rounder for him, until the situation clears up, Gio's getting touches.
Hell, Gio probably looked the best of all the bums out there.
Hill's getting touches, and I think Mixon only had like 4 more touches than both of them each. So it's really no separation in this backfield. And until stuff clears up,
they got that quick turnaround on Thursday against the Texans. I never really like players on a short week. And Houston run D is still stout. I know Fournette did go out there and lay 100 on him for a touchdown.
Fournette is the man beast.
Fournette is the man beast. The 30-year-old man looks like a man, but, you know, I don't know. Motherfucker's at least 30. He has to be. But he is, I mean, you're talking Fournette versus these Cincinnati bums, and this Cincinnati offensive line just didn't look very good whatsoever out there versus those Ravens. We got another guy laid an egg for you in DeMarco Murray. I think he is probably, I mean, my goodness. I mean, he got a real tough matchup this week.
But, I mean, Henry really didn't get going at all whatsoever. So
no. It's not like Henry's the reason why I'm telling you to bench DeMarco Murray. The whole run game looked like shit out there against the Raider team.
The whole Titans are kind of underwhelming. Yeah. I mean, Mariota ran one in, but none through the air. You know, Corey Davis had probably more action than expected week 1.
Murray's going playing that tough-ass Jaguar D who just slammed the door on everything Texans the last week. And I don't know. Have you got any other options? Maybe you got some Tariq Cohen. I think you should probably give Tariq Cohen the old nod over to DeMarco Murray against the Jags. The Jags are looking tough as fucking nails.
All right, keeping the AFC South, talking the Colts. I'm saying bench everything Colts until further notice. We saw what happened with T.Y. If Luck is out of lineup, he'll get you 6 PPR points. I feel like maybe he gets a little bit of a raise if they start Brissett, but with that said, I'm not expecting anything more than like back end wide receiver 2, maybe wide receiver 3 at this point until Luck gets back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think you can even think about anything back end number 2 nothing without Luck on the field. I mean, my goodness, it is just filth puke garbage. Jack Doyle started out the game hot with 2 for 40, and then he was dead. And then he was dead. T.Y. Hilton never got it going. Moncrief only had the 1 catch. Yeah, it was a 50-yarder. It was kind of a hope and a prayer chucked by the brisket out there, and he just kind of landed one with the Moncrief, but that is nothing to get excited about either. I think I'm all in on the sits for every single Colt out there.
Speaking of people possibly dead,
what the fuck happened?
Talking about Hunter Henry here.
Did he die? Did he die? Because he didn't do jack shit on Monday night. I'm afraid for anybody. I have Hunter Henry, DeMarco Henry. Mix it up. It's a Derrick Henry DeMarco fucking hybrid, baby. All right, we're getting back to seriousness. Hunter Henry out there. I mean, is he dead? I don't know. I had him in a fantasy league.
Luckily, you didn't start him.
My goodness, I think I did. I have him in 2 leagues. I ran him out there in 1 in a short bench league. The listener league. I ran out Hunter Henry in a listener league. I think I was able to squeak by with a win somehow still with the dog shit of Hunter Henry. But my goodness, Hunter Henry, you are dead. We're looking at guys who replace your ass. We're looking at the outlaw. I mean, at least the outlaw's on the football
Charles
field.
Clay.
Jesus Christ, it's come to that. I mean, this guy wasn't even playing football. I'm convinced. Was he playing football?
I don't know if he was. I really don't remember.
Says he wasn't.
I don't remember seeing him out there.
Stallion says he wasn't playing football.
I don't even remember seeing him on the football field.
Anybody notice him? If you noticed him, put in the comments below. I have an argument on how dog shit Hunter Henry is right now, because he is.
Kind of forgot he even played.
I was like, where the fuck is he? I'm in a lot of leagues, and I'm like looking at all my shit, and I'm like, I got a guy in. I guess technically I got a guy in, but I'm not sure if I literally do or not, because I don't fucking see him in nothing. All right, another guy who shit the bed for you, Brandon Marshall. I think it's time.
One catch.
Not till garbage time. Last drive.
Absolute.
Second to last play of the game.
Absolute garbage time. This offense looks absolutely putrid, And I'm saying if Odell is not in the lineup, I don't think you can really start any Giant.
No, it's looking bad. If
I mean,
you took
I'm
one
even
guy
saying-
outlast that, it turns that big to shit. I mean, the only guy that even kind of did anything.
And a lot of it is that offensive line. That offensive line is absolutely horrendous.
The only guy that returned any kind of PPR, any kind of value is Shane Vereen. This is because he just got dump off after dump off, and I just think that's an outlier. I don't think Shane Vereen is anything you want to depend on as like an RB3 or a flex play.
But with that said, I definitely
Don't-
have Shane Vereen over Paul Perkins.
Oh,
Because Paul
God.
Perkins means nothing to
He's
me.
waiver wire fodder. Paul Perkins might as well find his ass on the waiver wires.
Paul Perkins wasn't draftable to me, and this guy was going
No.
like as a 7th rounder, and
Yeah,
to me,
I
he
don't know
was
what people were
undraftable.
yeah, we've been kind of shitting on Perkins all offseason. I mean, Jesus. Shit, I mean, if you're on the Paul
That's
Perkins
bad.
show, I feel sorry for you
That's
because he was
bad.
like a fucking puke. All right, now we're looking at some guys. You know, we're talking about some sad shape fuckers out there. But now we're getting on the guys who are looking to continue with their sacks. And to lead it off, we're gonna go Kareem Hunt. I mean, my goodness, the guy looks like
best game of his
unstoppable
career.
force.
Best game of his career. Saying it right now.
Oh my god.
I mean, 40 something plus PPR points.
250 total fucking yards. I mean, I'm all in on best game of the season.
40 plus PPR points. That is
That
stout.
is pretty fucking ridiculous. He looked like
Bottom line,
unstoppable.
he looked like David Johnson.
It was fucking
The way he
ridiculous.
caught the ball, the way the absolute tenacity and the physical way he ran the
Looks
ball.
fucking faster than David Johnson.
He looked like David Johnson.
Looked almost faster than David Johnson.
With that said, David Johnson, our boy from Clinton, Iowa, get
Sorry,
back
bud.
on that. We're sorry for you with fantasy owners, but we're sorry for him in real life. I mean, this guy grew up 10 minutes from my house. We feel sorry for you.
Oh, poor David Johnson out there. But it's just a tough call. One guy in our league traded 3 first-round picks in like a dynasty league. I mean, I was like, man, that's a good deal, and then it just isn't. Turned to shit for him, babe.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. Another guy who went out there. No, I mean, this was rookie running
This
back
is-
world
it
out there.
is.
It
We're
was.
talking-
Week 1 was out of its mind. With
We're
rookie running
talking
backs.
total yards. There are 4 rookie running backs who hit 100 yards.
5 over 85 if you throw in McCaffrey. I mean, we had Hunt with 250 yards. Like I said, we had Fournette well over 100 total yards. We had Dalvin Cook with 127-yard rusher, 127 yards on the ground just last night. And then we had Tariq Cohen that had over 100 total yards. I mean, rookie running back deluxe, and I don't see really
saying
any reason why
continue-
any of them can't continue to do it.
Continue all of them. I think Hunt is going to be in that. I think he's going to flirt with
McCaffrey was
RB1.
getting used like crazy. Their usage on McCaffrey was through the roof. I mean,
I think Hunt is going to be in that
Chase
RB1
dude's dead, like I said
conversation
he
all
would
year.
be.
I think Fournette has earned his right to be in that RB1 conversation. First game of his career going against Houston's stout D, not expecting much, 100 yards and a tutty.
the Jaguars' offense is on his back.
And they knew what was coming every play.
Oh, yeah. The Jaguars over on his back. Boy, Bortles had like 125 passing yards. They were talking about they were running like 1960s NFL offenses out there where they're not necessarily looking to throw the ball until they make us. I mean, my goodness. I mean, we can run it on 1st and 2nd down and make it to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. We're fucking running it again.
Then Dalvin Cook didn't find his way in the end zone, but found his way loose on a couple
Very
plays.
sexy looking.
Also great at pass protection. I know it's nothing for fantasy, but he looked great picking up the blitzes.
Well, I'm just, you know,
so that
it
means he's
cements
a
his
3
field
down
time.
back.
Yeah, it cements his on-field, his 3-down back. They're not going to take him off. They're not worried about him letting old Sam Bradford take a lick.
McKinnon was doing all the kick returns. I mean, McKinnon did play a decent amount of snaps. It was mostly when
A lot
Cook
more
just
in
needed
that
a
first.
breather.
A lot more in that first half.
Yeah.
And in the second half, they were really feeding it to Dalvin Cook in that second half with that lead. And another guy. I mean, this guy was kind of on the bubble. People are kind of worried about
Now,
drafting him, but
full-blooded
all in.
love.
All in. Ty Montgomery played 90% of the snaps. Ty Montgomery had 23 touches against the stout Seattle defense, and he was like the only one besides Jordy Nelson who really even did anything in that game. And I'm all in on the Ty Montgomery. If you're talking
I feel
RB2,
like you
Ty
can-
Montgomery,
I
that's
think
sexy deluxe.
High and RB2 there.
Very high end. I mean, maybe even, Jesus Christ.
I mean, we could be talking back in RB1 at this conversation. If he's
90%?
getting 90% of the touches here,
He's the only guy I guess they count on to pass block for old Aaron Rodgers out there.
and
maybe.
Jamal Williams, who?
He's an afterthought. He only came in. He only played like 2 snaps, 2 or 3.
It was
snaps.
it was one time when he kind of had a little ankle bum going on, and then took a little breather and got back
seriously,
in there.
if Ty Montgomery wouldn't have had that little ankle situation, we might be talking about 100% of the snaps. We really might. I mean, yeah, and the guy also got a 64. He was like the only top 10 tight end drafted. That got a 64.
Him
besides
and Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph too. But Zach Ertz went out there. Oh my goodness, Zach Ertz, another 8 target game, and for 8 targets for a tight end. That's all in. He tied for the lead. Tied for the Eagles team lead in targets with Nelson Aguilar with the 8. So I think moving forward, we'll be talking about top 3 tight end. Zach Ertz.
I mean, like we said, he had how many targets? He would say 86 targets his last 9 games last year. If he continues to get 7, 8, 9 targets a game, this guy, he's top 5.
Who better?
Top 3. I mean, Jordan Reed.
Fuck Jordan
Looking
Reed.
at his broken toe. Gronk not really doing much. Always a health
I'm giving
concern.
the nod to Gronk when he's healthy in that top 3. I'm giving it to Kelsey. I'm giving it to Gronk. I'm giving it to the Zach Ertz at this moment. 'Cause, I mean, my goodness, I mean, who else are we looking at?
Rudolph deserves to be in that conversation.
Rudolph is deserving to be in that top 5 conversation. I mean, Tyler Eifert was dead. I mean, Jimmy Graham was used, but it wasn't anything sexy deluxe out there, and he was probably the next guy that did anything. Delaney did do work out there, but I mean, you gotta just give the nod to a guy like Zach Ertz. I mean, you look at Carson Wentz's eyes when he drops back. He stares at the first motherfucker he looks to is Zach Ertz every single time, I swear. He loves him. I'm all in on it. I really am. In PPR, in full point PPR, I'm talking top 3.
Big money leagues, if you're talking 1.5.
Oh yeah, and those FBG leagues, those the FFPC player championships, you're talking that 1.5. I'm talking in all saddled up. Top 3 tight end Zach Ertz. And I didn't care. Take that shit to the bank. Take that shit. Who better? Who the fuck better? No better. That's what's up. Zach Ertz.
All right, we kind of hit him on the waiver wires. We're saying Cohen for the Bears. Him and Howard looking spry.
Both very startable. Howard shit the bed there at the end of the game. I still think Howard's still going to get his looks. They have nobody else on offense, for Christ's sakes. Even Kevin White's played 4 games in 3 seasons, Bears. I think it's time to fucking call it. So, I mean, I think Cohen and Howard can combine every single game for 30 to 35 touches, and I really think that's a serious situation.
I feel like Howard minimum,
why not?
Howard minimum is going to get his 20.
Well,
and this guy with his spark, I feel like he's deserved.
Howard got like 16, and then I think Cohen, what did Cohen get? Cohen got another 14. So that was right at 30. I think we were right at 29 or 30. So we were out there already, and that was before the Kevin White. I'm thinking we're looking at 30, 35 touches combined between these two every game. I mean, they're going to have to. I don't see any reason why the Bears shouldn't have both of them on the football field. I mean, they're clearly their best athletes on offense. I mean, how the hell are they not?
That's all they have.
We're going to have to give Victor Cruz a call. It's gone to so much shit. We're going to have to beg Victor Cruz to come back and play football for us. Oh, gross. That sounds fucked. All right, who else we got? Cooper Kupp, or whatever the hell's going on with him. I think he might be the real deal. I think he might saddle up, flex play rest of the year. Cooper Kupp, what do you think?
That's tough. Tough for me to get anything still.
It was the Colts. They did play the Colts. So
it was the
kind
Colts.
of a little bit exciting.
I mean, anything Jared Goff related, I can't get overly excited about. He did have over 300 yards, but only the 1 tutty, and it was against Indianapolis Colts. So their coach didn't even know who they're playing minutes after the game in the interview. I feel like, he in shorter bench leagues, he's definitely still available. I feel like he's worthy to stash as a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 play.
What do you think about these guys? Continue to get it sexy out there. What do you think? What do you think? Kenny Galladay. What do you think? Is he going to continue to get sexy?
I feel like Galladay could be that wide receiver 3 conversation. Golden Tate's going to do a lot over the middle. Marvin Jones, to me, is nothing special. And they're still going to throw the ball 35 to 40 times a game, maybe 45 times a game. He's a big...
Abdullah didn't do nothing out there.
He's a big target. red zone threat. I feel like this guy could keep going. He had 2 touchdowns. He could find himself into that 8 to 10 touchdown range as a rookie.
I think his per game target ceiling right now is probably right at like 6, maybe 7. But I don't think he's looking to ever get necessarily into those double-digit targets. I think Golden Tate is still going to be the target
Golden
vacuum.
Tate had a very nice game.
Very
too.
nice game. Golden Tate is going to be that target vacuum as long as he's on the field. And Marvin Jones might steal these deep balls every now and again. As Marvin Jones is kind of a deep threat too, but I do think Galladay is a pretty sexy wide receiver 3 play moving forward for you on a weekly stardom basis out there. Maybe even more so in standard leagues.
Yeah, especially at home too.
Another guy we got out there. How about Todd Gurley?
I feel like it couldn't get any worse than what it did last year.
His yards per carry was still dog shit against the Colts. 2.1 yards per carry against the Colts.
Which is absolutely horrendous.
His usage in the pass game was upheld. I think he had 5 catches for 65 yards.
I feel like since he is improved in the offseason in terms of being a pass catcher in the backfield, I feel like he can give you RB2 floor production.
I mean, he only had one 20-point PPR game all of last season. And he had a 20.
He already
had one this year. So
I feel like
if anything, that offense is sexier. So
I feel like he's solidified himself as a decent floor RB2. I mean, I don't think
high end RB2. I mean that offense is. I know it's the Colts. I know he only had 2.1 yards per carry, but his usage was very uplifting. That he didn't even play like the whole fourth quarter. So, I mean, if they're looking to give him those 4 to 5 catches a game, I think that's easily going to move him up into that 12 to 15 points a game average. And if that's the score, I mean, that's high-end RB2 all day.
I would have a guy like Randall Cobb here.
I think that was kind of game script with the Seahawks, being a little weaker against slot receivers. I do think Cobb may hold some wide receiver 3 value moving forward, but I think that will be one of his more highly targeted games of the season.
All right, and 2 guys. We got Diggs, Thielen, both going out there clanging and banging with Bradford. Put up huge numbers Monday for you.
Huge numbers. I was all in on Thielen. Sorry, I told this guy, oh my fuck. I was got to bench Kareem Hunt for Thielen. He'd probably hate me for a while, but hopefully it didn't cost you your matchup. At least Thielen did go out there and get it super sexy for you with the 9 for 150. So at least, hopefully, he did save you from taking an L on that one. Like I said, I am sorry, buddy.
But at least, 26 points isn't bad.
He had 24 points. I mean, that's...
Or whatever they finished with. Mid-20s.
He was lighting up the skies.
He looked great. They had 7 pass plays, I believe, over 20 yards.
Those gold gloves he had were made of glue. I mean, he was fucking slinging.
They had Diggs with his Randy Moss cleats signed for him. Did you see that before the game? Randy Moss signed his cleats?
Speaking of Randy Moss signed his cleats, the first Viking receiver to have 2 touchdowns in week 1,
Randy
the last
Moss.
time that happened, Randy Moss, he signed the cleats. Shit gets sexy.
I mean, Diggs started off hot last year.
First 2 seasons he started off hot. This is the hottest he started, though.
We're going to see. I feel like
he makes it past week 4 or 5, and he's still producing wide receiver 2 numbers.
I mean, I was gonna say, I feel like Diggs is wide receiver 2. I feel like somehow Adam Thielen could be back in wide receiver 2, definite high end wide receiver 3.
I mean, Adam Thielen I think is a weekly startable flex player.
I do too. I agree 100%. We said before the season here, and we did a whole bunch of mocks, said scoop Adam Thielen up in that 10th round.
I think he's a solid flex play moving forward for a weekly basis. I mean, that offense, I know it was the Saints, but that offense did look clicking. Sam Bradford's completion percentage is through the roof, and I mean, Adam Thielen is making plays out there.
Very nice.
Very sexy. All right, everybody, if you like what you hear, you like what's going on, hit that subscribe button below. We appreciate that shit. And hook us up with some comments if you got some questions, some sit starts, some what to do, what's going on out there. We'll answer them in an orderly fashion. We will be on it.
All right.
All in.
Thank you very much for watching. Good luck, week 2, fantasy people. We will see you later.
Follow us on Twitter. I get goofy on the Twitter. I get a little vulgar, get a little goofy, get a little I don't give a
It's
shit.
sketchy and greasy.
I do. I told him Darren Sproles was gonna come on tits. I mean, he didn't get to. He didn't necessarily get the coming on tits stage, but his usage was uplifting. He led the team in snaps and RBs. He had the 5 catches. He had the 8 targets. And that's not necessarily coming on tits. But it was.
I
good.
didn't even see it.
Didn't see that one? Didn't see that one? Well,
All right, people.
you're a little goosey. I don't give a shit.
X-rated.
X-rated Twitter.
Hide your kids. All right, people. See you later.